5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
All right. Here we are. It is Friday. It is 10 o'clock in the morning here on the east coast of North America. It's a beautiful day. It is hot as hell. If you're going to the beach in New York, you're going to have a nice warm weekend for it. Looks like perfect beach weather, and I'm all about that. That sounds great. Today we have an excellent guitarist joining us. I believe it's around midnight or 11:30 in Australia, and we have a great guitar player who will be joining us in a little bit. We're waiting for him to call in. He'll come on my screen when he takes his break, and we're going to have the unbelievable Doug De Jong will be joining us. Doug is just phenomenal, and he'll be here in a little bit. I'm not sure if Sam's joining me or not, but I expect she will be in shortly, and if not, it's just me today, so you'll have to deal. Okay, so what's going on in the world today? I'm looking at the headlines. Armageddon, flights unsafe. Jesus Christ. If you need any more existential dread, getting on a plane is going to be screwed. I have to say, flying this weekend is an amateur move. You got to go out the day before. If you don't, you'll have problems. Let's see. I'm just checking. It is midnight on the stream. Okay, so it's 1 a.m. there. I expect we'll hear from our comrade in arms down south shortly. I'm getting an update here. It is 1 o'clock. Thanks, Deb. I appreciate that. As I mentioned earlier, a couple people joining in. I do have Doug coming in a little bit. Getting back to the news, though, we've got Armageddon is the way they put this. It's always a shitstorm at the airport. Every freaking 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, wherever you got to go, that everybody goes at the same time. It's been a shitstorm for years. And then you add COVID to the mix and lack of people who want to work, and all of a sudden it's just completely screwed. Good morning, Susan. How are you? I'm just looking at the comments here. It's a little early. I know everybody's feeling a little crispy around the edges. I'm not. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. Tell you what, I've been working out. I've got 12 pounds off. I'm happy about that. That's a good thing. I'm trying to keep my figure for summer. And so we got the flight thing. And then here's another one that just makes me crazy. Scientists' dire warning to Cape Cod beach goers. What do you think they're scared of? They're scared of sharks. Sharks, I say. Yeah, they're scared in Cape Cod they have sharks. Now, when I was a kid, my family owned a house in Cape Cod, and we go there every summer, and there is a shitload of sharks there. But the point of the matter is there's always a shitload of sharks there. If you go up in a hang glider and hang glide over the shallows anywhere, you'd be amazed how many sharks you'll see. For example, if you're flying into Tampa Bay, and I suggest you do that, if you fly in from the bay approach, you will be astounded how many rays and sharks are in the shallow waters. If you were to fly down Clearwater Beach or right off my house right here, if you fly up the Atlantic Ocean and look at the shallows, there's sharks out there. Don't freak. It's, hey, Toby. Man, Toby's up early out there. Toby Wan Kenobi, the babe from Wilshire. Good morning, Toby. And we got a bunch of early risers. You too, Susan. So in Cape Cod, they are concerned about the sharks. It's driving them crazy. Let's see. Sharks are sinking their teeth into beach life near Cape Cod. Isn't that clever? Massive man-eating sharks, including great whites, are lurking in the waters near the popular vacation destination. Scientists warned after citing a shuttered beach in the area. There's a constant presence, it says here, from June to fall. So these news geeks, they get a hold of a story like this. I'm telling all of you, listen to less news unless I'm giving it, because then, at least, I don't know, you'll get some humor out of it or something. There have been 11 sharks spotted in the region. Well, I can tell you there's probably a bunch more. They're not all big, great whites or makos, but there's sharks there. We swim. I swim in the ocean almost as much as I can. It's just down the road. I mean, like literally, I'm looking at it. I could walk down the hill and be there in 5 minutes. And there's sharks, but I'm not going to say who cares. You don't go swimming in the dark. And Toby, yes, we do have Doug De Jong. We're waiting for him. He's going to be calling in. They're playing a gig right now, and we're waiting for him. So he has the invite, and I talked to him last night about midnight, and or my midnight, excuse me. So yeah, we have Doug coming on. Let's see. So enough about the sharks. We have a Florida pastor. This guy, that's another Florida man story. Now, I don't know. Let's see. This guy's name was Engino Dali Muniz Kalan. I'm looking at him. He just looks like an average bloke. Well, the good pastor's been, let's put this delicately and clinically. He was flogging the dolphin in public outside Starbucks. That's a headline. Okay, let's see where this fellow was. Oh, he was in Kissimmee, Florida. Okay, tourist center of the world. And he was sitting on the patio of this Starbucks. They have footage. Lovely. I'm not going to share that with you guys. Yeah, it's crazy. So the guy was apparently he was doing things, and there's an ambulance here. So it looks like somebody gave him a little taste of some Florida justice and smacked him around. I got to tell you, man, somebody did that next to me and my girlfriend when we're out having dinner or breakfast or coffee or any damn thing. I'm going to give the guy a good kick in the snads. I'm sorry. It's just, and then we have a Carnival Cruise brawl. I got all the best news here. This is the New York Post. It's just always unbelievable. Carnival Cruise brawl breaks out after alleged threesome sparks cheating accusations. A wild brawl erupted on the Big Apple bound Carnival cruise ship, which this is great. It's going to be cruising in. Let's see. When is it coming? It goes right past my house every time it goes out, every Sunday. And it's pretty funny because thanks, Toby. To me, a damned, I don't know, what can I say? To me, to go on a cruise is like, unless it was like the rock and roll cruise, that's the only cruise I would even think of going on. Even that, I've seen almost all the bands in my life I want to see. And yeah, Carnival Cruise Lines, I agree. And we're not here to slag on Carnival. They're like any other cruise company. They're in business to make money. But tell me, if you guys out there, how many of you like going on a cruise? See, I'm a different breed of cat. Personally, I'd rather rent a car, get to an airport, anywhere in Europe, it doesn't matter. Get to an airport, go. I typically like to fly in Amsterdam to Schiphol Airport, land of my forebears or foreskins or something like that. And Royal Caribbean. Well, I'll keep that in mind if I ever have to take one. But I just, oh yeah, you've been on 9 of them. Okay, well, Toby's. I trust her judgment, man. Toby's she knows what's going on, so I trust that. Anybody else want to chime in while we're waiting for Doug? We're just going to sit here and talk about some of the crazy stuff going in the world. They had an amazing brawl on this boat, but threesomes on cruise ships. And first off, the reason I don't want to go on one is I don't like getting sick. And if you go on most cruise ships, it's kind of skeevy, and I'm real picky about restaurants. I grew up in a restaurant family, and I'm as bad as Gordon Ramsay. If I go in a place and this grease, I can smell it. It's funky. It hasn't been changed in a while. I'll go off my shit. I don't like foul. When you cook, you got to keep it clean. I mean, really, wash your hands. See some guy back there going, here's your sandwich. It's like, no, I don't want that. So enough about cruises. So let's see, what else have we got? The poor young lady who in the 60s, all of us who are old enough to remember, and I know everybody here is, in Vietnam, that picture that's so heartbreaking of the young girl running down the road. The lady's now in her 60s. She's about my age, and she is in great shape. She looks perfect. She got a really amazing outlook. And she had her final skin graft in Miami. She's had 50 surgeries since that day in 1967. And that's one of my earlier memories of the Vietnam War because it was everywhere. And I remember people being outraged in my family, reading the daily news and things like that. So, what can I say? It's not for me, I don't think. But again, let's see. Well, I'm gonna examine that possibility, but I think I'm gonna wait till COVID chills a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I got COVID a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, and it didn't do squat. I'm so lucky. I got to tell you, I had a real bad headache. It felt like my head was going to explode for about 2 days, but that was really the extent of it. I had a real bad ache and sore that just went up my head, and it was awful. But I don't think going on the cruise right now is at the top of my list. But who knows? Like, Toby, do you know if they have those rock and roll cruise on Royal Caribbean? Because that's like really the only way I think I'd want to go on one. But yeah, baby, Debbie, right on. I can't either. I'm hoping he calls soon, but I fully expect him to. He's a man of his word. He has bugged out once, but it was okay. That was because alcohol was involved. And I know that in Australia, they don't do anything. They don't drink, anything too much. Themed cruises are leased. Interesting. And now we're going back. We're going back between healthcare, various ailments, and now we've got Susan. Yes, Susan, we did cover the monkeypox last week. For anybody who's, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the monkeypox I know. Okay. Unless you're in a high risk category, the high risk categories are gay men. If you're a gay man and you practice anal intercourse, I'm being clinical here. If you are very high risk if your partner has monkeypox. So don't be screwing around for a while or wrap that rascal or do something. But I don't know. Personally, I'd rather just get down to Australia and start drinking. I think that'll keep away most things. I haven't had a drink now going on 4 years, and that's okay. But I might make an exception in Australia. Come down there, get me a Sheila, and run off to Bali and live a life of sin. Now that could be fun. Yeah, I know you guys in Australia are about as much fun as the folks I've met from South Africa. You guys can hold your liquor. Jesus Christ. And let me tell you something. I was God's own drunk. I can put that shit away. At the same time, it was a little too much. If I had, God only knows what would happen if I was drinking. But I am going to definitely be plotting to come to Australia. That's high on my list of fun stuff. And I'm still hung up looking at this story. On the New York Post, they have a full-page headline story of this guy wanking it outside Starbucks in Florida. So another Florida man runs amok. Let's see what some of the other more glorious news organizations. All the moguls are flying into small town Idaho. I guess they're going to see how much more change they can just grind out of us between internet fees and the other shit that they do. Remember what George Carlin said. You don't have a vote. And somebody else said, smart guy, they let us vote so that we can think we're doing something. If it meant something, they wouldn't let us. Probably a true fact. I used to be very politically motivated. I've been both sides. I'm an independent, and that's as far as I'm going to go. But Jesus Christ, we live in crazy times. And let's see, CNN has had an amazing ratings free fall for the past year. It's just dropping like a rock. It's amazing to me because it is a Democratic administration. I would think that viewership is up, being that they are, they're pro-Democrat, it seems. But at any rate, they're not doing well, and they have a new guy who's coming in. And he's not doing it. So I hope, he's getting paid a lot of money. And if you're getting paid a lot of money, they want a lot of results. So, that's where it is. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap here and go to a break real quick, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
All right, that was quick. In fact, that was so quick. I think here's the schedule.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
We're back. So I'm going to just go ahead and poke Doug and see if I can get him on the video thing here while we're sitting here. So what are you guys doing this weekend? Everybody, Toby, what kind of great entertainment are you going to see? All right, Deborah, I'm coming down. You can look after me like a drunken uncle. Remember, I'll treat you like a sister from Georgia. For all of you from Georgia, don't get pissed off. It's just down there, families get close, you know. It's that old family tale. They go, Daddy, get off me. You got a pack of cigarettes. Or let's see some of the other things I've seen and experienced in the Great South. I don't know. I wonder if they're going to get monkeypox down south. So at any rate, Toby and anybody else, what are you guys doing this weekend? Anything cool? I'm going to try and raise Doug here. And Doug Dejong might have to do a test. Active an hour ago. You guys can hear it. The line is ringing. All right. Well, no return yet, but I will. We'll keep trying. And if not, you're just gonna have to suffer through me. I know that that's difficult. Getting back to some of the news, I'm just tipping them a note. We are in studio. Hold on. Why am I doing this? There we go. Let's tap the recording mic. Hey, Doug, we're here. Oh. A clock ticking. Are on live waiting. Come on down or up. Whew. It is hot today, I got to tell you. All right, so you're going to see, yeah, I like him. Excellent. You know, Toby, I noticed you've been having Stephen Still's son on. I'd like to talk to you about him. Actually, I reached out to him already. We have mutual friends. His dad came from Tampa, so I have some acquaintances who know him fairly well. Come on, Doug. We're waiting on you. Oh, I'm just looking to see. No, nothing there that we want to talk about. All right, so there are some other things going on today. Getting back to some weird news for you. Toxic herbs ring alarm bell for doctors. For sure, if you're taking a bunch of drugs from Are we still here? All right, where was I? Good morning, Gina. I was talking about the toxic herbs. Look, if you're doing medicinal herbs of your own, that's fine. But don't be doing all this weird shit that people put in their body. You know, if you're on antidepressants, don't take St. John's wort. It'll geek you out. You'll end up like me. I'm back. I don't know what happened. I think I got time transported just away, the whole system. And then we were back. So good morning. And, you know, we're waiting on Doug De Jong. He's supposed to be here. And if he doesn't, I guess we're going to have to send, Deborah over to smack him. I don't know. Things happen. So if he isn't here, I'll be surprised because we did speak last night. So they're warning about the Armageddon. The flights are unsafe. Has anybody here flown on Spirit Airlines? This would be a moment to rag on. Really, the broadcast keeps pausing. Yes, we had an out of body experience here, Susan. I was literally carried off to some, I don't know. So I spit out by a black hole, and here I am. I'm in a weird world where weird shit happens. Let's see what else we have here. Most Americans agree the government is corrupt and rigged. Excuse me, can't talk today. 25% of people, it says here, are up to armed revolt. Now, I don't buy it. First off, oh, good. Thanks, Toby. I appreciate that. I also sent him one, so we'll see what happens. Appreciate that. Yeah, and then we have a Burger King guy who's worked there for 27 years. I got to give that guy credit because working at a fast food place, horrible job. Lots of people make decent living out of it, though. I used to work with a woman. I was in sales for Muzak, and my friend Nandina used to be a manager of McDonald's. Nandina didn't have a high school education, I don't believe, and she got this job, and she was our number one drive-in sales. We used to sell drive-in systems that would have timers and all this other crap. And I hated doing it. So I would give all my drive-in business to Nandina because she understood it. What I was getting at is if there's a single woman out there and she's busting her ass, McDonald's is one of the places where you can end up a manager. And a manager makes 100, 150, and that's not the biggest amount of bucks in the world, but it's a way to get people making really good money. And I'm not saying everybody should go to McDonald's, but for some people, it's done very well. I know a guy who owned 120 of them. He's one of the richest people I've ever met. So I think it's pretty cool somebody worked there for 27 years. It's kind of sad they didn't end up manager because that would be tough. I don't think I could do it. When I worked at Muzak, I saw the back of many, many fast food stores. And all I can tell you people, I'm not going to name names. Chicken of any kind, beware. Because I've been in those places in the morning and meeting the owners. It's like, God, I cannot imagine going home every day smelling like a hamburger or fries. You can't get that shit out of your hair after a while, I'm sure. But so it goes. Guys doing it. And in New York, we've got our usual crazy. We have a mob attacking a man in the Brooklyn subway. That's kind of cool. That happens all the time, though. I don't know why this is really newsworthy. Let's see. 5 suspects just kicked some guy's ass. They got in a dispute and they beat him shitless. Did I say that? And they have the suspect who's fleeing. They got, New York's amazing. They have cameras everywhere. And yet, guys like this, they don't give a shit. He'll be posing for it, telling all his friends he smacked some guy down. And maybe they'll put the pictures up on the big Jumbotron in Times Square. That would be kind of cool. So we've got Deborah's. I did mention Chris Stills. I'm really going to, I reached out to him this morning. I really want to have him on the show. I was unaware of his existence until I met you guys. Toby. I saw Toby posting about it and thought that was pretty cool. I'm looking here just to make sure Doug's not trying to get through. Oh, got it. Down for tomorrow night being Saturday at a gig. Tonight is Friday night. I'm just locked out of the house and trying to break in. Ha ha, no joke. It's 12:19 p.m., people. So Doug will be on with us. Be patient. And, depending on what happens, we don't need all these stupid commercials. We're going to get Doug on and have some fun. How's that sound? All right? Cool. So let me see what we've got here. You know what I'm going to do for a minute? I think while we're just sitting here waiting, maybe I'll just put on some 10 minutes of Leland Sklar. Lee is always cool whenever you see him. Anybody have an objection to that? We'll watch a little Leland for a minute. I'm in the process of taking a lot of the best shows we've done and editing them down. I have all these recordings I've made of people calling for me going, hello, Neve, this is Kevin Sorbo, or this is Neve, this is Lee. And I'm going to put them all together in an ad for the show, and I think you're going to like it. Lee is awesome. He is just like, yeah, he is awesome. One of the most down-to-earth, humble people you could ever meet, and funny as hell. Every time we have him on, we have a good time. And you know, the first time I met him, we were going to have a 15-minute show. It turned into almost 2 hours. We just were having such a good time, laughing and goofing around about music. And the one thing I like about it, he's such a musical historian. The guy knows everything. And I mean, I know a lot about rock and roll, but this is a guy who played in it for all those decades. So I mean, I love just talking to him, you know, talk shit about recording sessions and stuff. I'm going down here. I'm going down, 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 down. And I'm trying to find the Lee Sklar clips, because we've got 4 of them where Leland Sklar. Here we go. This is a segment.
I'll show you this.
Oh, please do. Yay.
Oh, we're going for the bass.
No, not a bass, but I used my Frankenstein bass today on it, which is my old right arm. But a guy sent me a song to do for him, but it was like 38 pages of music because all he had was a score. So I sat here with my paper cutter, removing all of the bass parts on it. And here's the chart I used. And I had to tape it all together. And this is like, you can see it up close. It's just, every one of these is another piece of tape in here.
It's another bass line.
So that's my bass chart here.
Yes.
That's
You're quite
brilliant.
a talented artist there, Mr. Sklar.
You know, you do what you got to do.
That is
Can
true.
you bring us some glass bowls? Did anybody in the 60s say, Sklar, blow me a bong, please? No.
No, they would just say, blow me.
No, they might say, could you possibly? What
want
is
a
the
glass
correct
pipe.
terminology? I don't know.
See, the hard part of all that was, and the people that knew me, I've been doing this so long, I've never drank and I've never done drugs.
Yeah.
Ever.
You are wow, you are a
That's
paramount of health, man. You are the best.
That explains a lot.
What it explains is why a lot of people don't want to be around me, because I still have memory. And there's a lot of stuff that people have wanted to forget over the years, but I always go, oh no, that's not right. Let me remind you of what you were really doing that night. And then they go, oh fuck, oh, get out of here.
Oh man, that's
Sounds- This sounds so familiar. We have this often, don't we, Neil?
Oh, it's happened. You know, I haven't had a drinking going on 3 years, and it's a whole different world.
But we've known each other for about 25 years. So when the story thing starts, we're both like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. That sounds like a Warren Zevon song opening a weird
Very
door.
much.
So,
Very
you know,
much.
I want to ask you a little bit about Warren, because you've been talking about it on the show. I've been watching your videos. Just a weird question, which, you know, not people always like to focus on the Purian aspects of Warren's life, which I don't give a shit. You know, I've done a lot of dumb things, but when you first did the sessions with him, did you come in and know who he was? And then the first time you met him, was it doing a session with him, or did you run into him prior?
Yeah, I think the first time I met Warren was probably in the studio, and we became, you know, pretty much immediate friends. I mean, being around Warren was kind of like being around Hunter Thompson or one of these people.
Right.
They're thinking on a whole other level, and with Warren, it really depended on, you know, if he was sober or not. But in the studio, his focus was like a laser. He really kind of knew what he wanted. And one of those guys, the thing I loved about Warren so much was he could write the goofiest kind of, you know, satirical song, and then turn around with the next song, you're tearing your heart out emotionally.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He ran a tremendous gamut and his keyboard playing, his guitar playing, everything was really wonderful. And it was all really him, like Randy Newman. That kind of,
oh yeah, absolutely.
These guys, they're really a package. You know, all their talent comes to surface in this one presentation. And I always loved, I would love to have toured with him. Now, the fun part of, like, you know, working with Waddy Wachtel is the fact that he and Warren, their friendship began when they were in the Everly Brothers band together.
I didn't realize they were.
Some of the stuff goes way back to the late 60s and stuff. I mean, it's a real, now that time has, you know, traveled with us over all these decades,
right?
You really, you start to see things in a different way. Where, like when you were first starting, you never saw you were going to have a career. You were happy to have a gig.
Exactly. Right.
It was never going to be. They were going to discover any day that I don't know what the hell I'm doing and call somebody else, kind of thing. And, so it
was when those complaints about your beard started coming in.
I just at that point I just didn't give a shit about it. I figured if they couldn't take, if my follicles were bothering them, it's just
they're follicular challenged.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't look at this as baldness. I look at it as plate tectonics.
Hi. How's everybody doing out there? That was Lee in Words of Wisdom, certainly smarter than I can be, my gift of gab. All right, we're waiting on Doug, people. I'm so sorry. We have a hole in time here. That's okay. Let's see. Has anybody ever gotten an email from the Illuminati? You know what I'm talking about? They have the cloaks and the spooky rituals and naked girls on tables. Sounds like, regular day at Las Vegas. What stays in Vegas stays. What you get in Vegas comes home. At any rate, we're waiting on Doug. Oh gosh, every once in a while I just run out of things to talk about to you, and I sit and I go, what should we talk about today? So I go here to the news and I pick out these various stories that are on in New York or wherever. Okay, so here's some normal New York stuff happening. We've got a woman attacks the Long Island CVS workers. She went postal because they couldn't give her a prescription. So she went haywire, and you had a honky gone haywire in Walgreens or CVS. And then we have singer allegedly killed. Wait a minute. We got to read this again. It's gone. Too bad. I'll tell you what, it just amazes me sometimes, the stuff that you read on the paper. Let's see what else we have here. Mob attacks the guy. We've covered that. Half say Trump should be charged. Israel has a new prime minister battle going on. None of these stories. Oh, this is a good one, though. Everybody likes North Korea. Has anybody here been to North Korea? Me? No. I haven't, and I don't know. It's not at the top of my list of places that I really want to party. I don't know about you, but apparently the North Korean leader, Kim Dong Dumbfuck, he blames alien things for COVID. Considering he's right next to China and he has quite the problem. Hey, Deb. And at any rate, they have quite the problem with COVID, and they're right next to China. So I'm shocked. I mean, really, they've been fighting the shit out of it since it began. And they say that this is a good one. People who work with robots, let's see what it says, die more often by having their skull crushed in. No, I'm kidding. It does say that working with robots has caused some people to not do very well. I'm trying to get to this. All this great new technology I have, just getting used to it, peeps. I appreciate your forbearance. Dennis Rodman did go there. In fact, he was kind of a friend of the little bastard. I don't know about you. Is there any amount that Kim Jong-un could pay any of the ladies here talking right now to do the dirty? I mean, really, think about it. He'd be like, ho, ho, ho. No shit. I've just culturally alienated every North Korean in the world. I'm really bummed out about that. Sorry. They fight COVID with painkillers, lockdowns, and TV health segments. Now, I believe that because they haven't got anything over there. And, that's one of those places that just be glad by an accident of birth you're here. Come on, Doug De Jong. Where the hell are you, boy? We're worried sick. I'm dying laughing because the show's, I expected it to be on about 15 minutes ago. So that said, you'll just have to deal with me. Susan, have you ever seen Dennis Rodman in person living in the city? I've seen him a couple times, and he's a big son of a bitch, man. When you get close to him. Definitely. I'm seeing if is he calling in? Perhaps. No, nothing yet. I'm going to ask him, how's it going? How's it going? Trying to break in. We've had some interesting things happen on this show. You know, some good, some not so bad. We'll never understand why USA folk for UK when it comes to jokes. Well, believe me. Hey, listen, Mr. Ghost Floof, I have plenty to laugh at the United States about, so don't worry about it. Don't get too upset. And the trend is towards World War III. Well, again, I agree with you. Not my doing. You know, I don't really care for the whole start a war with Russia thing. I know I'm not popular for that opinion. I know a lot of people are all riled up, and I do hope Ukraine wins, but I think we're, by my definition of war, we all are already at war with Russia. And I know a lot of people get pissed, and I don't usually talk about this, but I just don't think I don't know. We're paying a lot of money. The country's got grave problems. The Soviet Union has tons of nukes, and it's just not good for business what's going on. And I don't know what they're doing, but I think given all this money over there, in a year from now, I hope I'm wrong. I'll buy you dinner or I'll buy beer. Whatever, I'll buy you whatever you want, but I don't think things are going to get better. I think this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And that's just the way I think about things. I think people who are bullies are bullies, and they'll kick your ass. That's just 5 cases of brandy. There you go, my friend. I don't know you, Ghost, but I don't know you, and you don't know me, but it will get I agree with you, mate. Absolutely. Regardless, you know, people get wrapped up and they watch the news all day long. They've been watching the hearings about Trump. I can't watch that shit for longer than 15 minutes. It's just endless political posturing back and forth and back and forth. And they go on and on. And it's not court. It's not anything they're saying is not legal as evidence. It's just it's a big show. And it's a mess. I messaged, he said we were waiting for him and looking forward to seeing him here. Well, I have too, but thank you, Deb. We appreciate it. That's cool. Ghost, if you don't mind, just give us an idea of what continent, or you know, you don't have to tell us where you are if you don't feel like it, but I'm curious. We always like to hear viewpoints of people who are living over there. I have a friend of mine who has a friend who is in Russia. It's actually a couple, and she's been saying, okay, great. Wonderful place. Really, really great. Good on you, man. I like the Japanese. I like their culture. Here's Doug. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh, he's in the house. Stuck out in the dark. Holy shit. Look at this, folks. The poor bastard. You can't see it because of the reflection. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just pop up. Stick with me for a second. I'm going to really quickly find, I hope I can find it really quickly. I want to find his earlier appearance, his first appearance with us. Interesting. Ghosts from South Africa. You guys are, in my experience, I've had a lot of fun partying with you characters over in Europe. When I was drinking, man, I have to tell you, drinking with Australians or South Africans, man, I was God's own drunk back in those days, and I found they were worse than Russians, but good in a way, because I was loving it. He is locked out still, I know. So people, this shit happens. This is live television, and things get weird sometimes. And since I'm pretty weird, you never know what could happen on the show. Yeah. How do you contrast South Africa with Japan? I mean, the manners and the whole, do they consider you a gaijin? Or you a nail to be hammered down? Tell us what's going on. $15. was priceless when it comes to bar life. Yeah. There was I don't know. I was partying a lot in those days and before it. I'm still hunted by gaijin hunters. I wonder, do they ever stop and look at you in the store or anything like they do in Korea? They just all stop. When my daughter was over, they would all follow her around the store to see what she was going to buy. So they would buy it. That's funny. If anybody who's not listening doesn't know what we're talking about, we're talking to guys in Japan, or guy or gal. They always assume he doesn't live there. He or she. Are you a man or a woman, Ghost? I'm thinking a guy just because of the name of it, but maybe not. I don't know. Party with us in Australia. Oh yeah. So Deborah, do they actually do the toad licking down there to get hallucinogenic effects in Australia? I know you've got all kinds of fun stuff. I'm a dude. Cool. If you don't mind me asking, what do you do in Japan? It's always interesting to get the spin of someone who's overseas. I'm sure that everybody else is looking at America just going, what the fuck? I don't blame you. I mean, I really don't. Social worker. Interesting. Social working in Japan. Huh. Good for you. Very cool. I imagine just having a Japanese mindset, you'd have to really get acclimated into their very different culture. I bet that's a challenge and sounds cool as hell. I really, I know that David Lee Roth spent 2 years over there learning to paint or do calligraphy, I believe. Took 4 years to get used to it. I bet. Are you a vegetarian? I ask you because my daughter worked in Korea for 2 years, and she became a vegetarian because she lived over a Korean butcher shop, which if anybody's ever seen that, as soon as I saw it, I went, oh, my poor kid. It was like, assorted animals. No toad licking for you there. Deb says no toad licking. 14 years, I'm sure. That's a very valuable skill to have, as you know. Very cool, Ghost. Don't be a stranger, man. I'd like to talk to you sometime, just see what's going on in Japan. If you have any interesting bands or anything that's of interest over there, hook me up. We'd love. I know I always am amazed by what the Japanese come up with, whether it's planes, cars, watches, whiskey. I don't even drink, man. They make some great scotch and whiskey. I don't know. So I guess Deb's not into the toad licking. But I love meat. Well, cool. Well, you got stuff to eat over there that's good, I'm sure. I just know that there's a lot of seafood, Susan, it's funny. I once went to the village and bought a bunch of sake. I was at the Audio Engineering Society. It was like 1994, I guess. And we're at the Hilton, which is where they used to hold the big event. I call it the toilet. It's the old Hilton. And some of the rooms face out into the grim corridor. And you look at it and you're like constantly checking out the window to see if there's a stiff down there. I mean, really. And it smells bad sometimes, or it did back then. I don't know. They probably changed the carpet by now. But anyhow, I don't know where I was going with this. So it looks like Doug's still locked out in Australia. That's what I was going to say. Yes. Sake to me, and I've had some of the really good stuff. Some of it is really smooth, believe it or not. But the stuff you get here in a Japanese restaurant generally is crap. Yes, definitely luxury wine. I like that. So tell me, Ghost, do the Japanese have the same insecurities and wacky neuroses that the Americans have? They're so quiet. And I can't say that I understand the mind of the Japanese, but that's okay. I try to. I'm really curious, though. I never even thought of being a mental health practitioner in a place like Japan. Right. Great neighbors. Plum wine. Well, I tell you what, I got so sick the first time I ate sushi, and I was in the village. We went to a really nice place. And we had a whole car full of musicians and audio engineers driving through New York. And we were pretty lit when we got started. And when we got done, I'm just going to say this. After we had the sushi and I drank way, way too much sake, it was warm. And when I got in the car, I started getting the sweats and thinking, this doesn't sit too well. So we're driving, we're running up Fifth Avenue, and I'm like, stop the cab, stop the cab. So I Technicolor yawn out the door, and then I'm just like feeling so bad. And we close the door and we're heading on. Everybody's like, have another drink. You know, they're killing me with offers. So then they see a pizza spot. There used to be a big Sbarro, and in those days you could drive up through Times Square and all. So we like stop in front of the Sbarro. My buddy's going, come on, let's go get some pizza. And believe it or not, I got up. I just went in, got myself a slice of pizza. I ate it, and then I was fine. But at any rate, I'm enjoying this. Drinking sake with sushi is like going to a bike bar for 8 hours and going to a curry dinner. Yes. And I don't know why the pizza had some sort of a cleansing effect. Geez, I'm really sorry, guys. Doug's not going to make it today, I don't think. But we got 15 minutes. If he comes on, man, I'll run the show for another hour. I don't mind if you're hanging. Yeah, pizza is great. Oh, I'm sorry, Gina. I didn't mean to get you. Oh, my. Well, we'll move on. Out of the category of anything like that. So sorry, Gina. Moving onward and upward. So Doug's locked out. Let's see what else we've got going on in the crazy world we live in. Here's a place. If anybody's got some extra coin hanging around, I've found my place. It's out on Nantucket. It's just going to be my summer place because it's fucking cold in Nantucket. My uncle has a house there, and it is cold. And I just got to tell you, it's a great place to go. But if you got some spare change running around, the Nantucket estate is $56 million. It's owned by venture capitalist Evan Jones, one of the American oligarch types. Yeah, we love those guys, don't we? I'm looking at it. It's quite the spread, I have to tell you. Any rate, $56 million. It's a waterfront compound, and I'm looking at it. It's not got an exceptional amount of land with it, but the view, I'm sure, is incredible. It's up on a bluff. You know, I definitely, now you're not putting that up, Ghost. I can't comment on that one. Oh my God. Yeah, Australia, you know, I'm fascinated lately, and I don't know why. I guess it's because I'm talking to all my Australian friends, and every day on my YouTube feed now, I get these snake things. So since we're waiting and we got nothing else to talk about, I'm going to tell you guys the snake story. Now, the snake story is a story of something that happened to me. I'm testing my English as I go. I love it. At any rate, so get back to the snake story. I always look at Australia as kind of like Florida. Got a lot of bitey things, have a fair amount of crazy people. Florida man, you know. But at any rate, shit, I'm losing my mind here. I'm trying to read and I'm losing my mind. I tell you, I shouldn't have smoked that doober. At any rate, what was I going to say about talking about here? Let's see. I'm testing my English. Okay. Anyhow, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm looking at 3 screens and I'm just losing it. Okay. God almighty, I'm bummed that Doug's not going to make it. Oh, so getting back to the snake story. I'm sorry. My mind wanders, as you know. In 1977, my parents bought a dog kennel down in Florida. We were a boarding and grooming facility and ended up with 2 of them over the years and all kinds of good stuff. It grew into a company. The other side of it was sold to a veterinary corporation. My folks sold theirs to a couple. But we had this business for decades, and they did really well. Great fun. I really liked my job. And so I had been in boarding school, and I moved to Florida. Now, after growing up in New York and going to boarding school and that thing, my idea of fun was a lot different than what I found when I moved to Florida that summer. My parents that year bought a brand new van with the carpeting, the shag carpet all over the inside. Didn't have a bed in the back, but it was still really awesome. For me as a 17-year-old or 16-year-old kid, I got my license and I begged my folks to let me use it to haul my drum kit and shit to gigs. And my dad's like really skeptical. He goes, tell you what, we're gonna test your driving. I'm gonna load up the van with shit and you take it to the dump and bring it back. It's only a few miles away. So I'm like thinking, I'm going to drive so careful. Everything's going to be cool. I'm going to get back. My folks are going to want me to use the van to move my band shit. So I get in the van. It's parked. I closed the side door. I came in through the side door to my right. And I sit down. And then I feel a slight tap. Like imagine like that. Just on my leg. Something brushed it. I'm wearing shorts. The door was open, so after I sat down and I felt this thing brush me, I pull the door shut as I'm putting the car into drive. At this point, a snake grabs my leg and bites me 3 or 4 times, which point I freak and I go bam on my head. I'm trying to kick the car into park because the snake is striking at me. So then, as this is all happening, my van slowly drifted into the fence next to it. My parents are in the office watching me go down the driveway. And I know my dad just like, what the fuck is he doing? What is he doing? And then they saw me careen into the fence. Thank God I wasn't going fast. And he runs up, pulls the door open. Now, my dad's a former military intelligence officer. So he's nothing like I am. Poor guy. At any rate, he opens the door and I'm hyperventilating. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to look at the snake because they tell me that if it's a viper, it has an ellipsoidal eye like a cat's. If it has a round dot, it's non-poisonous here in the States at any rate. I don't know what the fuck you have in Australia. So the snakes hit me 3 or 4 times, draw blood, didn't kill me. It was a corn snake. He was about like 4 feet. Harmless. They love people. People take them and keep them for pets. Crazy shit. So here's what happens. After years of the snake, I had kids back then. My daughters were about 3 or 4 back then. And they thought the snake story was great. So somewhere along the years, they came up with a rubber snake. Now, first off, in those days, I was a drummer and I would play 6 nights a week, 7 nights. And on Sunday, I'd come home. And that morning, I'd get paid, for the week. And I'd take my kids grocery shop. And we'd have our father, daughter, dad day. And, go see our parents, whatever. Had a lot of fun. And they decide that they're going to prank me all the time. So what they did is they just kept like, I'd come home at 2 a.m. I'd go grab a pitcher of milk and swig it. They'd have the snake wrapped around it. I opened the door and almost shit myself. Another time they put it on the toilet seat, which literally that was kind of a good place to put it because I sat down. Anyhow, corn snakes. Well, I wonder if there's a similar snake to yours. The corn snakes we've got are like they're nice. People keep them for pets, and I didn't know that. And I'll tell you what, my knee got kind of infected because it had grody teeth on it. It was a hell of an experience, but a lot of people in my life have kidded me about the fear of snakes. For example, driving to a gig, if something rolls out from under my seat and touches my legs, here's what happened. That day when I got in that truck, that snake brushed my leg and I didn't pay shit attention to it. If I had known, I would have not gotten bit, needless to say. And I love it, a death adder. Now that sounds like a snake that, can fuck you up. The brown snake, that just sounds like, Mr. Brown Snake, here, kitty. But I know, getting back to earlier, I was talking about, I've been watching all these snake tales from Australia. Well, now my YouTube feed is full of them. You got these guys, they're like, oh, look at him, he's beautiful. It's like, is everybody over there like fucking Steve Irwin, man? Just jump on snakes and grab them out of fucking swimming pools or out of the bushes? It's amazing. You guys got balls. I like it. Great bunch down there, I'll tell you. Look, here we are. It's the end of the show time. We got 5 minutes. Oh gosh, the snake story. Gina, that's a great question. Oh, where'd it go? Well, yeah, because like my kids put a fucking snake on the toilet seat. It was awful. I mean, really. Oh, I love Steve Irwin too. I was so sad to see him go. It was what a great show. My daughters loved it. I was married to my child bride at the time. I had a 23-year-old wife. I was 40 at the time. That was a really great plan, I'll tell you. I had a lot of fun for a while. At any rate, that was an expensive party. But moving on, I don't know. I'm looking here. It says Brown. Let me ask you, Ghost. Ghost, what's your first name? Any rate, are they similar snakes, as in they just have them all, or are they different? Yeah, let me tell you, Ghost, that was a party, man. Can't imagine. It was fun while it lasted. I'll put it that way. I won't do that again. No. You know, it's funny. You know how many people said, actually, everybody was like kind of amazed. They were like, what? You out of your mind? I'll tell you what. You used to check. Tell me, Gina, have you had a snake experience ever? Scare the crap out of you. Any rate, let's see. Nah, for me, that was the love of my life. Oh, man. She was a pretty lady. I just say pretty in looks, got the temperament of a brown snake. Or no, a death adder, even better. Death adder. Yes. Zariel, nice to meet you. Zariel? I hope I pronounced it right. Nice to meet you, Zariel. Zariel, I think. Tell me. My mom used to have a fear of water moccasins. Oh, me too. When I lived in Florida, I had one of those damn things fall out of a tree into the boat with us. I see. Oh man, Egyptian. That is on my list of places to visit. I do want to go to Egypt for sure. I've had many friends who've gone and talked about what a great time it is. And yeah, that's on my bucket list for sure. Well, okay, so listen, you've got a new guy here. If any of you who listen to me regularly, if you haven't done so, listen, I'm trying to do a big push on my YouTube page because I've got to get the subscriptions up. I got 5,000 friends on my Facebook page, and I've only got like 200 people on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, liked, and sent your form with the blood oath on it, please go ahead. Would only recommend South Africa if you know knife combat. Yeah, I guess the trouble's there. That's what my friends who live there tell me. And I know so many people are trying to stay, but with farms being confiscated, let me tell you, Americans, all of us, stop bitching. This country is fucking killer, man. We've got so much going on, and we have our problems, but they can be dealt with. But Jesus Christ, man, I don't see any other country where people are dying to get in. And I'm not saying we're the best place because we're not, but you're right. We've got to. The country is different. Our media is different, and I'll say this: I like watching the Australian media. They're pretty fun. The Israeli media is interesting, but in the end of it, it's all old guys making wars. And I don't want to end on a nasty note, but I like our country, and I think that we got more food. I just like my country. I love New Jersey. I love Florida. I love California. But I hate fucking politicians. They're all shit. It scares the floof out of them. That's a great word. I'm gonna have to borrow that, mate. Floof. I'm sorry you've had to live through that, my friend. It's the point I was trying to make is a lot of Americans don't have gratitude for how great it is, and they bitch about it. And yep, if you're gonna bitch about it, come up with some answers. Try to do something to make you be better, be a decent human being. Well, been through our guest's been through 4 wars. Give us an idea of yeah. Oh, Gina, I love where you live. once I am largely and hugely successful and I'm on 100 channels, I will definitely be having a place in LA. Got to be there. Really pissed off I couldn't end up there for NAMM this year, but my friend's wife had to have surgery, and so the guy that was going with me couldn't do it, and it just didn't work out. But next year, even if I have to go alone, I'm going to be there, and I look forward to it. Who knows? I might get over there sooner. I think the winter in California would be really sweet. Get out there for a week or something and drive around, visit friends, eat food. That's how I like to travel. I just like to rent a car, or in Europe, I'll take a train and then rent a car, and then take a train, do whatever. I'm not one for package tours. I like to just road. I just like to go see where the road leads. I have a destination at the end of it, but I don't mind meandering to get there. Driving around, I drove all of Italy and had a great time. I will tell you though, if you go to Italy and you have to rent a car, rent something good. Because pronoun life within inches. Come out when the immediate. Oh, that's a great idea. Wow. That's something I got to look at the calendar when I get off the show. That might be a great idea. Deb, you're also right. Having an attitude of gratitude is a great thing. That's a cliche, but it's a good one because no matter where you live, there's good and bad. And, all I can say is if you don't like the way the world is, don't join the psychos. Don't become part of it. Don't be the dick. Don't be the person who yells at your neighbor. Don't be the person who starts fights over cars. Don't be the guy who's getting upset because your hamburger's fucked up at the window. Oh, yeah, you are a big old gaijin, are you? I know. They think I'm 6 feet. They figure I'm the Jolly Green Giant, in my experience. Has anybody ever seen the South Park episode about Asians and their manhood? For those of you who have seen South Park's episode, Ghost, have you ever seen it? To become the top 20. Oh my God, that's too much. I like this guy. Tell me, Ghost, how the hell did you find us? I think you're going to be a regular. I have a feeling we may have a Japanese correspondent in the grooming here. Yeah, the South Park, all the jokes were about, oh, it's at Agora Hills too. Nice. I'm sitting here looking at all this. Man, I got the coolest friends in the world. Well, listen, guys, Doug's not going to make it. It's 11 o'clock, so we're done. Sorry about that. I know he is too. But thanks for sticking around and watching. And, thanks for listening. Ghost, before you go, I'm curious, how did you find us? Oh, I'm going down here and can't. No, it looks like we're out of here. Okay. Well, look, it's 4th of July weekend. I'm going to be coming on and off over the weekend. Brief pop-ins. I might have a special guest. When I had Kinky Friedman on, we had some communication problems. It was a bust. But I'm going to be talking to Kinky this weekend. And for those of you who know Kinky Friedman, Deborah, to answer your question, he can be on the next stream as soon as he wants. I know it's late. It's like 1 or 2 in the morning, but I don't think he wants to stay up till 4 your time. But goes, tell Doug he sucks. Nah, Doug's all right. He's fine, man. We love Doug. He is worth seeing. Let me tell you, buddy. We will have Doug De Jong back on. And listen, guys, if we don't, I might just go ahead and put Doug De Jong on this afternoon. It's 1 a.m. there, so my show's on in 3 hours. I don't want to wake Doug up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning. Just not good. So thank you, everybody, for watching. I really do appreciate it. You're great. And I guess we're out of here. Oh, what's happening? We are out of here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.